Find Your Talent was an initiative of the last government. They were interested in exploring how you can ensure that all young people in England can have access to 5 hours of high quality cultural engagement in and out of school every week. There's very strong evidence that suggests that access to cultural and creative opportunities and activities when you're young develop a whole series of skills, particularly what we would call the creative skills, by which we mean being imaginative, having lots of ideas, but also being resilient, not being afraid of failure if things go wrong, bouncing back, working effectively in teams, being confident decision makers. And those are a very important set of skills, which not only actually help you in school and make you do better in school, but are actually the sort of skills and behaviours which are most suited to being very successful in the 21st century. 60% of all the jobs that kids in school today will do have not yet been invented. And more important than that actually the young people are going to have to invent that for themselves when they go out into the workforce. So the question is, how do you teach people to be inventive and creative in ways that when they come out, they're actually going to invent jobs to do? And we think working in cultural and creative activities like this is exactly the way in which you can develop those skills in young people. The Minister's arguments at the moment is that money's very, very tight and they just have to cut back all over the place. Whilst projects like this are desirable, there is just so much which is unaffordable at the moment by the government. Everywhere you look, this is going on. And so there's people saying, what are we going to do without roads, and what are we going to do without trains, and other people saying, what are we going to do without hospitals, and other people saying, what are we going to do without schools. So we're just part of the many voices going, oh my God, it's a disaster. We are working very hard to find ways to make sure that people can finish their arts awards. I think actually the worst piece of vandalism that the cancellation of the projects has been around the arts award thing. But I think there is a lot of interest in trying to make sure, if we can't save anything else, that we do try and find some way to support those people already on arts awards to get them finished. We think that it's very short-sighted because if we invest in young people in the way that we suggest now, then we're going to build the economy of the future. And if we don't do it, we're not going to have the economy of the future, and therefore there'll be nobody out there in jobs, nobody out there paying taxes, and therefore no money for schools and hospitals and so forth in the future. So governments should focus on investing money in what's going to give them the return. We're working very hard to put together a programme which will build on the experience of Find Your Talent and Creative Partnerships and some of the other programmes that we run, so that there will be opportunities for young people all over the country to continue to be able to do this kind of work. But we've got to make the arguments, we've got to get the evidence together, and we've got to see if we can do that. And at the moment, we're not sure. The government took a very hard line on Find Your Talent, that everything that wasn't absolutely committed had to be paid back. But we think it's very important that we do find a way to capture all that information, to learn as much as we can from that. So we'll see if we can find some other sources of finance to do that.